Hi everyone, this is Josh Rappaport with Singing Turtle Press, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about numbers and how numbers can drive you crazy from time to time. I've tutored a lot of students over the years, and I've seen a lot of people get stressed out about numbers and math and things like reducing fractions, and it occurs to me that if they could just get a better handle on numbers, they'd have a lot less stress with it. So today what I'd like to do is teach some tricks that make it easier to deal with numbers, and these are tricks that deal with what's called divisibility. And this word right here, divisibility. This word basically means figuring out what number goes into what other number evenly. And it turns out that in our nice base 10 system, there are quite a few tricks that make it pretty easy to figure out which number divides into which other number evenly. So I'd like to teach some of those tricks. Today, I'm going to teach tricks for the three numbers that have the easiest divisibility rules, and those numbers are 2, 5, and 10. And before I get to the lesson here, I want to introduce a little new symbol I use. This is the symbol right here. And what the symbol means, the symbol is right above here. The symbol right here tells us that we're dividing two different numbers in a fraction by the same number. So for example, right here, you see that we're dividing 8 and 10, dividing them both by 2, and you get as your answer 4/5. Okay, just my little way of expressing that idea. All right, let's start with a trick for 2. All right, 2 has a very easy divisibility rule. The way it works is that if any number has a ones digit, the number furthest to the right, but before the decimal point, a ones digit that is a 2, a 4, a 6, an 8, or a 0, then you know automatically that 2 divides into that number evenly. It's a very handy thing to know. So for example, let's just say that you have the fraction 14/18, and you want to simplify this fraction. Well, you look at 14, it has a 4 in the ones place. You look at 18, it has an 8 in the ones place. That means both of these numbers are divisible by 2. 2 goes into each number evenly. So you can use my little symbol here, show that you're going to divide both numbers by 2, and what you get when you do that is the number 7/9, 7/9. And that is your final answer for that problem, dividing that fraction. So there's the trick for 2. It's a very simple trick, as I said. Now, the trick for 5 is also very simple. 5 goes into any number whose ones digit is either a 5 or a 0. Okay, so in other words, 5 goes into numbers like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, because all those numbers end in a 5 or a 0. Let's look at a fraction that's easily reduced by using 5. Let's take the fraction 25/40. Okay, looking at this fraction, you can see that 25 has a 5 in the ones place, 40 has a 0 in the ones place. That means both numbers are divisible by 5. So we just go ahead and divide them both by 5. And as our answer, we see 25 divided by 5 is 5, 40 divided by 5 is 8, and that right there is the answer to that fraction reduction problem. Okay. Now, the last number that has a nice, easy divisibility trick is the number 10. Some of you probably already know this trick. 10 goes into any number evenly if that number has a 0 in the ones place. So we just use the number 0. So for example, 10 goes into 10, it goes into 30, it goes into 60, it goes into 90, and it also goes into numbers larger than 100 that end in 0, like a number like 270, because 270 has a 0 in the ones place. So let's look at a fraction that we could easily reduce using this rule. Let's take the fraction 70/150. Okay, so we can see right here that 10 goes into both because they both end in 0. We divide them both by 10, and the answer that we get is just 7/15. So there you have it, and that's the final answer. And those are three really wonderful tricks to start out with because they're so easy and they're so helpful. And in other videos, I'll explain additional tricks for other numbers that will help you reduce fractions and do other nice operations with numbers. So enjoy these tricks, use them, get used to them, and I think you'll find them extremely helpful.